Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays collection. Today I got some new movies. These were pretty much all new pickups in the last couple of months. I've kind of had them in piles, certain groups, and I would watch them, you know, one night pick this, pair it up with this movie and stuff. So I've had these, probably some of these since November or October. So might have a little Halloween leftover. But anyways, today is going to be, we got a little bit of black exploitation. We got a little bit of horror mixed in here. We got some classic horror. What else we got here? Yeah, we got some scary movies. Or are they scary movies? But these are recommendations, guys, because these are all very interesting movies, very good movies. So let's get right to it. This was a movie I wanted to pick up for a long time because it has co-starring with Carole Lombard, one of my favorite actors, but more so for his westerns after 1946, and that would be the man, the one, the only, Randolph Scott. So this movie came out in 1933. Victor Halperin directed this. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he had something to do with White Zombie the previous year with Bela Lugosi playing the zombie master. So that's a movie I need to cover. I got a great Laserdisc edition of it I need to show real soon. But anyways, this is a movie he did afterwards. This was for Universal, or was this Paramount? Oh, this was Paramount in 1933. Movie I'm talking about is Supernatural. And I waited a while to get this movie. It was on DVD for the longest time because, you know, a couple years ago I went on a Randolph Scott spree. I was trying to find all the movies I didn't already have, and so I started diving into his career, his leading man roles, the early roles that he got before he was so much a Western star. So this was something that was on DVD, and it was kind of an expensive DVD, and I held off on it. It finally came out on video. Kino Classics have released it here lately, and so I went ahead and got it on Blu-ray. This is a brand new 2K scan master of this movie, and basically this is a movie about like mind reading. I think a husband dies, or what is it? Somebody's. It's kind of a tale of like Carole Lombard somehow or another becomes possessed with the soul of the woman who killed the twin brother of this other actor and actress in the movie, and they have like, mind reading, seance type things going on, stuff like that. It's maybe a little more murder mystery and not so much like supernatural horror type movie, but it's kind of got some chilling moments. It's well made. It's just one of those little quickie movies. It's 64 minutes, so it's one of those good movies that kind of came on and they kind of get to the point. Everything pretty good. I mean, very interesting. It's definitely a curio for people that are fans of Carole Lombard, and definitely Randolph Scott, to kind of get an example of his early 30s leading man stuff. This is something like a role Cary Grant could have played, for example. He was at Paramount. This was around the time that they were sharing a flat on the beach in Hollywood. They were two up-and-coming actors, and they were turning out these movies for Paramount left and right. Cary Grant doing Mae West movies around 1933, around this time, and Randolph Scott doing some movies and stuff. So pretty cool stuff. I mean, I love early 1930s, late 1920s Hollywood. Just the style. I love watching like a Laurel and Hardy movie to kind of see some of the outdoor shots of just how things were back then. It was just such a classy time to be, you know, around in Hollywood. So, but, you know, long story short, Supernatural, great movie, pick it up if you haven't already got it. Definitely find a good deal on it. Don't pay no more than $20 for it. If you can get it around the $14 price, that's good for that one. Next up is a black exploitation movie that actually, let me do this next movie instead. Okay, this was a movie that was released in a box set of TCM. TCM a few years ago was putting out these box sets. One was with Randolph Scott, Audie Murphy. There were some Lost movies set. Quite a few of them, actually, when you look back at them. And they put these really nice DVD sets out. And a lot of them would have the movies individually released. And this, I believe, is the case. This was part of a set. I can't remember what it's called, but I've been curious about it for a while. This movie came out actually 1943, Universal. So it's one of the lesser known monster movies of the time, and that would be The Ghoul or the Mad Ghoul. Boris Karloff does a movie called The Ghoul from 1933-34 that he made in Britain, in the UK, but not to be confused with that. This is 1943 at Universal with the Mad Ghoul, and the Mad Ghoul in question is played by David Bruce. Interesting cast. We got Robert Armstrong, George Zucco, Turan Bay, which it may not sound familiar to you, but he was in some of the later Mummy sequels from the original, you know, Universal 1932, The Mummy. They turned out some sequels in the 40s. Now he was in there. He kind of plays like he's kind of an Indian, Egyptian looking character. I mean, was he really Egyptian? Not sure, but you may recognize him, but he's in this, and he pretty much co-stars with him. He's basically the mad scientist that, you know, turns this poor dope into a ghoul. And very interesting movie. It's kind of almost campy. It's almost kind of, but definitely a fun movie. If you can find this, again, decent priced, snatch it up immediately. It's another hour and 6-minute movie. So it's really, really interesting. Definitely if you're collecting Universal horror movies and some of the other horror movies that they did besides the big name horror movies, especially in the 40s, they did a bunch. I have a good book on Universal horror. I should brought that and showed. But yeah, you can find a bunch of these movies like that. But yeah, it's part of a set. It has a few other movies that I have, a couple of movies, just more of those, I guess you could say, programmer horror movies from the 40s. Like really nobody big name starred in it or anything. So anyways, guys, back now to some, I guess you could say some of these could be horror-ish black exploitation movies, kind of movies. Well, one of them is. The other one, he's in a whole nother category all himself. But I picked this one up recently, Sugar Hill. And this is from 1975, and the director was Paul Melansky. Now, I know the name. I know he turned out some pretty decent Hollywood, you know, big name movies in the 80s. Can't think of any of them right off, but this was one of his first movies. It's basically a voodoo story. It's kind of almost, you could pair this with I Walked with a Zombie, would be kind of a good flavor and stuff, but I Walked with a Zombie is a much better movie than this. I was I was so-so on this. I guess I need to watch it again, but it's you know, this is a subgenre of the horror black exploitation movie. So maybe I'm more into the action black exploitations and stuff like that. But yeah, Sugar Hill, definitely. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I'll check it out some more. I mean, if you know, it has its fan base, I'm not sure, but check this out. And there you go. Next up, I got 3 movies by the man known as Dolomite. Yes, Dolomite. And it's been a while doing the black exploitation movies episodes I did previously that you can check out on my channel. These were some movies I didn't have at the time. All of a sudden, I was going through Amazon one day, and I guess because they saw that I was searching those, these all popped up. And they were really cheap. They were like $10, and like one of them was like $7.99. I don't know if it was a one-day special sale or what was going on Amazon. But these are all Vinegar Syndrome releases. I don't have a lot of Vinegar Syndrome releases. I think the other one I have is a black exploitation movie. What was it? Candy Tangerine Man. So let's get right into this, guys. The first one picked up, Dolomite, the first movie he made, 1975. Okay, 75. I was thinking it was earlier. But yeah, this is loaded with special features, great special features. Got the director in there. It's got some archival interviews with Rudy Ray Moore, who played Dolomite. It's got a part 1 of a 3-part documentary called I, Dolomite, which is really good. So the other 2 I'm going to show you has part 2 and part 3 of it and stuff. So these are kind of meant to be bought, you know, together, because it all kind of goes together. But yeah, Dolomite's a lot of fun. It's very low budget. Rudy Ray Moore was a kind of a comedian out in LA. He was kind of on the level of like Red Fox, making kind of like dirty comedy albums and stuff like that, making little songs and poetry and stuff like that. And he had a real cult following on the underground comedy scene. And one day I think he got the idea, I want to, you know, break into movies and stuff and everything. And he came up low budget, came up with some, you know, money, and got some directors and people together, wrote this story called Dolomite, of course, starred himself. And the rest is history. It's one of the, you know, more famous black exploitation movies. Pretty good. I mean, not a, I don't know if I'm going to watch it all the time, but man, it's a lot of fun, a lot of quotable things in it. So this is the second movie he made, another great release from Vinegar Syndrome. It's the Human Tornado. Rudy Ray Moore is the Human Tornado. This has part 2 of I, Dolomite, a making of documentary. Man, it's scanned from a 2K original 35mm print. Each one, all of these, so they look really good. Some of them are they you know, Vinegar Syndrome keeps some of the pops and stuff, but you know, they just scan the print and put it out there. They don't really clean it up. But yeah, it's just really nice. You know, if you're into that thing. But Human Tornado is basically a some of his I don't know, what does he play in this one? Let me just read the back. I mean, you might be confused about Rudy Ray Moore and what all this is, but this is almost like a subgenre in the black exploitation. I mean, Rudy Ray Moore in general is a subgenre, if you think about it. I mean, he is a character all his own. His movies are all just, you know, in its own universe, you know, subgenre. But let me read the Human Tornado to you. To say, Dolomite is back and he's badder than ever with the Human Tornado. After being run out of town by a racist sheriff, Dolomite returns to LA only to discover that Queen Bee, the woman that runs his club, has been taken over by the mafia, and she's been kidnapped. And on top of that, they have kidnapped 2 of Queen Bee's top girls also, because he's kind of a, you know, pimp on the side or whatever. And the law is hot on his trail, so Dolomite's got to kind of prove himself innocent. He rounds up some of the toughest kung fu fighting badasses in Southern California. Yes, that's right. That's what I said. Kung fu badasses. And they take on the mob, culminating in one of the craziest surprise endings in black exploitation in film history. So wilder, more over the top than the predecessor. The Human Tornado is non-stop assault on the senses, combining comedy, action, horror, and jaw-dropping weirdness, featuring supporting performances from Ernie Hudson, Jimmy Lynch, world karate champion Howard Jackson, guys. Howard Jackson, world karate champion. Vinegar Syndrome proudly presents The Human Tornado on Blu-ray, restored from the original 35mm vault print. So there you go, guys. Human Tornado, a lot of fun. I think I may like it just a little bit more. It's like if I could take just pieces, like parts of each one of these movies, and put them back, into a film, it would be just a great movie, because there's some, some first-time directors and stuff and everything, and some of the stuff is just kind of dated a little bit, but some of it's not. I mean, I don't know. It's just something you have to see. You just have to check Rudy Ray Moore out, period, just to get a sense of him. I mean, he's not. He's not. Oh gosh, what's his name? He's not some. He's not. Superfly. He's not Shaft. He's not. He's all his own. But the third movie by Vinegar Syndrome, this one's called Petey Wheatstraw, The Devil's Son-in-Law. Now, a lot of this stuff was influences on like Snoop Doggy Dogg, Dr. Dre, a lot of the LA rappers that came out in the early 90s and stuff, sample a lot of his stuff and everything like that, especially The Devil's Son-in-Law. I heard that in some Dr. Dre stuff back when I was just a little teenager boy, just listening to some Dr. Dre. But anyways, this one, let me read this, because this is just gonna be so hard to explain. But anyways, before I get to that, this one shows Dolomite Part 3, the continuing documentary. I mean, it really is full of stuff. It's got a lot of trailers and everything on each one, so well worth your money. So Rudy Ray Moore is Petey Wheatstraw, whose talent for comedy is only topped by his gift for kung fu. And when his arch rivals Leroy and Skillet, that's right, Leroy and Skillet, guys, massacre him and his friends, Petey ends up in hell. That's right, HELL, hockey sticks, and is given a unique opportunity. In exchange for his friends' return to Earth, and he must wed Satan's daughter, who she's covered in everything with a veil, and you don't know what she looks like all through the film. The only problem is she's the ugliest woman he's ever seen. And will Petey be able to defeat Satan with his magic pimp cane? Magic pimp cane, guys. It should have its own title when the movie comes on. Magic pimp cane. Or will he be forced to become the devil's son-in-law? Question mark. Rudy Ray's third theatrical feature is a raucous, and ridiculous blending of action and horror. That's definitely what it is, guys. It's ridiculous, funny. This one has a lot of funny stuff in it, especially the beginning where it shows him being born and everything. And it has some real cool flashbacks. In this one, he's actually playing a comedian like himself and everything. It's really funny. It's like if I could take like 3/4 of this movie and like 1/4 of this movie and half a quarter of this other movie and put it all together and have like an hour and 30-minute movie, it would be just balls out funny, man. It would just be crazy. But man, I recommend these. I would definitely watch Petey Wheatstraw again. It was really hilarious. You can see kind of an influence, a little bit Richard Pryor. He's got a little bit of Richard Pryor. He's nowhere near as good as Richard Pryor. I'm sorry, Rudy Ray Moore, rest in peace. But Richard Pryor's the man, and everything. And I really thank my parents for letting a young 8-9-year-old boy listen to movies with Richard Pryor and comedy albums with Richard Pryor and George Carlin even. I mean, I grew up listening to some really cool stuff. Bad language, but hey, But yeah, these were the movies, guys. So I hope you guys like these. This is a, let me do a little elevator. So guys, in reverse order, pick up these from Vinegar Syndrome. Check out Amazon, see if they're still on sale, because it's a great way to get these. Usually Vinegar Syndrome titles are kind of expensive, especially when they go out of print and everything, so snatch them up. Even if you're not 100% on board with it, you will come around to it. You'll be in the mood for it one day and you'll have them. Definitely pick them up. They're well worth it. They're stacked with special features on it. So let's go backwards, guys. PD Wheat Straw. Pick that up. Got a second movie, The Human Tornado. Pretty cool color schemes on these guys. And Dolomite. I really like what they did with that. Next up, Sugar Hill. Now this is a MGM Kino Lorber 20th Century Fox release. So it's not exactly like a regular Kino Lorber release. Next up, the Mad Ghoul. Super cool, kind of low profile 1940s Universal. And finally, guys, first movie I showed you all, Supernatural. This is a Kino Classics release starring Carol Lombard and Randolph Scott. So I hope you guys like this episode. I hope you like those picks. I'm telling you, go out and get these. Check prices, get them. I think right now is a good time to find these. I think some of them are new. Supernatural hasn't been out very long. Get those Rudy Ray Moore Blu-rays before they're out of print, because they're going to definitely go up in price. And find this set that this is in. I'd hate to have to like go out and buy the set again and have doubles of this and have another movie that's in it. I hate to have to do that, but man, it's so, I want to get those Universal movies from the 40s and stuff, and they're starting to put them out and you can find them and stuff. So either way, check for that. It's really cool, especially if you're into Universal movies, horror movies, that is. And that's about it. Subscribe to my channel, guys, and you'll see stuff like this and everything. Check out my channel past episodes. I think I have about over 100 episodes. I got all different varieties of stuff. Check those out. Give me a comment. What do you think about Rudy Ray Moore and these Vinegar Syndrome releases? Are you a Randolph Scott fan? Do you like Sugar Hill? Let me know in the comments, and give me a big old like if you liked it. I think it helps the algorithm or something. But it's all in fun, guys. I love movies, and I want to show you different kind of movies that, you know, when you're out there shopping and you're looking for something cool to get, these are some things you could get. So, and they're new additions to my collection. So, guys, I am Mike. Take care out there. Be safe. And I will see you guys later.